Baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. Oh, take your time, it's the rush. Hey, what? She said, baby, what? Take your time, what's the rush? And he said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. Reiterated, because I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday to everyone who survived the weekend. How was it? Did anybody get any sleep in the rain? Did anybody get any, deep cleaning done? Maybe a project, art, anything, right? So, here's what it is on a Monday. Um, Feeling kind of rejuvenated. How about you? The rain put a lot of us to sleep. Hopefully, you got some regulation done. I know my nerves are feeling pretty good. How about you? Yes, yes, yes. It's a happy Monday morning. Yes, I'm up a little bit early because, hey, sometimes the early bird catches the worm, if that's indeed what they intend to catch, right? Sometimes you got to get up a little early. So how are we doing this Monday morning? Happy birthday to all who are having a birthday. We are still in the Capricorn season, and I'm not sure which moon, but I'm sure if you look in your farmer's almanac for the Zodiac schedule, you can find out exactly where you are right now. So hopefully your planets are harmonious. If not, maybe there are things that you can do to make your orbit around this place a little bit better. All right. Hopefully all this information helps. So we're going to start off with 127, and by happenstance 127 equals a 10. So there is something coming to full completion, either exposure, or there's just a full circle, and there are some things that just have to be discovered or laid on the line. So keep all things in mind and only take what resonates. Do not force anything. All right, because I'm going to be identifying some particular things in this one. Okay, good morning. Hi. Okay, so except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. And there we have it. I like this one. And I did not pre-read because I wanted to experience it with you all in real time, right? So for me, I don't know how how you took up the bread. For me, this is like grounding. This is like earth. This is very earth. Air and earth. Because you see, to spread seeds, you need air. And this is how the germination of most gardens go. They need air, they need seed, and they need the air to propel, because in the absence of bees, the air continues. But this is very interesting, this last line, 5. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Now, in this moment, as this context goes, this means that maybe the youth or the young or the childish or the immature or the inexperienced shall speak. Maybe they shall divulge information, or maybe not, or maybe there should be information gained. But either way, the word says, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate. It didn't say at the gate, it says in the gate. So we're going to stick a pin in that, and maybe you'll do some research, because I'm definitely going to do my research, because in the gate, I hear at the gate, over the gate, but in the gate. Very interesting. It's a living word. All right. So with that being said, because I'm pondering myself after I read that. Makes me very, very curious. In the gate. In the gate. Who would be in the gate? Hmm. Out the gate means like as I jumped off the porch, like out the gate. Off the top, on site, that's out the gate. So what is in the gate? In the gate. All right, so those of you who have been there, been here, and have been listening with intent to understand and not confuse. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it. So I'm going to define some roles, because there are many of us that are going through the same thing at the same time. I don't think that me alone is special in this big, wide world. Okay, I believe that there are other people just like me that are going through things in various ways, and there are various people um, going about doing the same thing as far as harassing, gang stalking, the calls, the smishing, the phishing, things of that nature. And just want to let you know that you're not alone in this journey. And I'm going to identify some groups and some different ways for you to protect yourself by actually paying attention to these groups of people. Be careful with the information that you give and that you receive, and use discernment. Some people would like to see you run around with your head like a chicken with your head cut off there, because they want you to be paranoid, and their job is to trigger you so that you continue in the chaos of this world, and you're not able to handle your business and keep your head above water, because someone might benefit from it. Okay, so let's get into it. I have notes. Piggybacking on what I was talking about the other day, as far as bone forward knowledge, muscle forward knowledge, bone marrow. So this is crazy. What I'm getting is dialysis. And what dialysis is, it's basically a cleansing of your systems. It's something in your system. I don't know if it's actually marrow or blood that it's cleansing, but it's when you basically, because I used to have to take a few of the patients out to outpatient care, and we would go like maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I sit in the chair, my patient, they take my patient back for dialysis, and it'd be maybe like a 4-hour thing. And what's wild is you have no idea the friendships and the not so friendly associations that occur while some people are sitting in those dialysis chair, because I can imagine people from all walks of life end up on dialysis. So it's very important for you to try to think of your choices, long term and short term, when you're out gallivanting and having fun. Uh, Libations are great, but you have to also know that they also cause fatty liver and cirrhosis. It causes a lot of things with your health. So be mindful, but there are long-term things, and as a result you could end up in dialysis. There's a thing called cancer, which is a huge thing, and another thing called renal failure. And depending on your health and the things that happen in your life, these things can put you in a place where you'll end up in dialysis. And that's basically where they kind of try to run your fluids through a cleaning system to put back, so that your body can kind of still have function. Some people it does good for, and some people I've seen the treatment not do well for. If this is your situation, I pray that you find some kind of comfort. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Um, if you have kids, be mindful of them. Make sure they're educated on long term uses of things. And once again, if you have medications and things in your house, put them up, lock them away, and try to keep a hold of the excerpts, the information that they put on there, because a lot of people take for granted the information. They think the pharmacist has enough time to tell you the life and death things, the contraindications of your medicines. But I think this is something we also need to pay attention to. Long-term use causes osteoporosis, a lot of bone loss, bone density problems, things of that nature. So if you know you have health problems and you've taken medicine over a long period of time and it does cause bone density problems. It causes, some people have medicine that changes their pH balance. It changes the way they smell. It's a lot of different things with medicine. Being in the healthcare practice for so long, those are the things you come across, especially when you've been on hands care and you've been the one, in charge of care plans, so forth and so forth, so forth and so on, and passing on information, which is one of the main things in healthcare, is the ability to pass along pertinent and good information, not information that, is for another interest, that sort of thing, right? Great. So, with that being said, I'm still going because I have so many things. So, the bones and medical soap opera script. Okay, I remember I wrote this. I wrote this. Bones medical soap opera script. Okay, so I addressed the bones, the bone marrow, the fact that somebody might be either having dialysis or not getting dialysis, right? They're not getting dialysis either because they talked too much at dialysis or the people they know at dialysis. It's a lot. You have to be careful. Some people talk so much they forget how much information comes out of their mouth. But yeah, I know, right? Watch out for those internet trolls. I love it. So yeah, what's going on? Are there fakers here? Well, I know that because I've also been alerted that there are tarot readers that are actually on the YouTube channel, and they're not all tarot readers. They're different people with channels. Some of them don't have a lot of subscribers. Some of them do. Some of them don't have, some of them are just friends of the people that have a lot of subscribers. It's that type of dynamic. And they don't mind like doing the gang stalker thing because I guess they promise a person that they're going to get them subscribers or send people their way. I don't know how this works. You guys are, you guys have your own little network. But like I was saying, I was warned about there are several tarot readers that meet up, and if they feel like there's another one that's going to be a potential threat, they do things to basically flock their page and say things and try to push them in tandem, that sort of thing. And they try to use their occult knowledge or their esoteric knowledge to, manipulate energies and things of that nature. I'm not worried about those people because, I mean, if they had to reach out to each other, I mean, how legit is it really? So that part I don't worry about. I know a lot of people like for me to go first so that they could, confirm and do what they had to do. And that's great because sometimes it helps for me to listen a little bit to make sure I'm not too, I'm not going too far, because I know I have a different set of knowledge. So I don't want to give away my dang self, really, honestly, because y'all really be playing with me, but I don't, I don't. It's so funny. All right, so with the cancer in the bones, because remember the bones, right? So I doubled back on that story, and the guy was going into crypts and things of that nature, and they said, now here's, I don't know if this was the like the disclaimer to cover up the fact that we found out that there's like a whole audience for these bones, right? He was saying that they do things for medical research, and what was kind of weird and creepy was that while the young guy with the, and he had an extra large cranium himself, like the makeup of his head was kind of, it was different. Either way, the way he wears his hair might have added to the fact that, yeah. But either way, it was kind of weird how he explained it, because it seems like he went out of the way to explain how the bones needed to appear so that they can accept them, if you know what I'm saying. It seemed like he would have just said, yeah, or verified about them also having a legit reason for keeping the skeletons and having a website to sell and accept bones, right? But the scientist, when he was talking about as far as research, it's like the way he said it, it was like he was trying to make sure if there were people in the underground market, they would understand that if they still plan to stay in this business, they would know precisely how the specimen should present to be accepted for monetary gain. Yeah, that's how he said it. That's exactly how he said it, right? I don't know. Do you call it? Are you the one going through people's business? So, yeah. So, like I said, this is sort of like a soap opera, right? So, this is playing like a soap opera for a lot of us, because we're finding out there are a lot of people that are playing this game. And this is a simulation. There are a lot of people playing this game. So, if you've ever known anything about soap operas, right? Soap operas were a real big thing. I don't know if they're still a big thing because I've never been really interested. It's something about all of these extraordinarily beautiful people with all these beautiful money and all these beautiful homes just running around having sex with each other and their whole families, from the mom to the latest teen, and nobody ever really leaves the town. If they leave the town, they come back in some clandestine way, and if they die off, they usually die off in the hospital from cancer, right? This has been the plot most of the time. When you got in light, you're young and you're restless, you as the world turn, you this, you that, you're telenova, whatever, right? I think because they had men in prison that were watching soap operas a lot, because they didn't really have a lot to do. And this is how they really kept up with the girls at home. They watched that shit. And Victor is a drug. Victor Newman was a drug, because lo and behold, a lot of men, due to their mammy and their auntie, they came up trying to figure, who is Victor? Who is my mama? And this woman run home to look at it. This woman doing this woman doing that. They like, so soap operas, big part of it. There are a lot of people that want to be a part of a soap opera, and they are part of a lot of drama, but they aren't famous, and they aren't even beautiful, beautiful people. And they don't have access to the beautiful, beautiful general hospital. And it's so interesting how many people wanted to be a part of the soap opera. You know, they kill all those stars off, right? With some kind of weird thing. And the only ones that usually stay around are like vampirish, like Victor, Elizabeth, Sheila. Oh God, Sheila. I don't even watch soap operas, but the fact that these two people stand out, Catherine, uh, there were so many pivotal pieces But you have to understand that that was definitely television poison programming. Sorry, programming. Hi, television programming and everything. So you have to realize some people are running by a script, because what's a soap opera without a script? People need to know their place. They need to know their line. They need to know their timing. They need to hear their cue. They need to not miss their marks, right? So you're thinking that this is all just a coinky dink. But what if this is a soap opera? And we don't know who's the star, because the person who presents the most drama gets to claim the star. Soap operas. Beep, 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 beep. I remember so many scenes ending like that or starting like that. And I remember hearing the shuffle of either whatever matriarchal or female figure that was supposed to be paying attention to me. They were more interested in all that drama. And the same drama is happening in the streets, and we call it ghetto. But when it was on the TV with the so called pretty people, we called it entertainment. Interesting. So these people are running a actual live soap opera, and guess who plays us? We are in the soap opera. So look, them PPP loans had you guys running around like Eye of the Tiger. Y'all was like, Adrian. Everybody was Rocky. They buying machines. They buying the little electric cars. They doing all this. You remember when Rocky had the machine? He had the the robot, and the and he had the trainer who was supposed to be giving him good advice, and he also had one that was basically kind of get money off the side. So once again, this thing plays out a lot. So the PPP loans are trying to catch up with a lot of you, and a lot of you used it to participate in this soap opera. And the reason why you're stuck in the soap opera is because you wanted to participate. You wanted to wear the lovely clothes. You wanted to wear the chinchillas. You wanted to go to Versailles. You wanted to go to shitty Dubai. You guys wanted to go. You guys wanted to be like the characters in these shows, right? So you guys did it. Y'all did y'all big one, right? And I've seen a lot of you guys reach it, okay? The way you guys, I mean, I've seen females that I would have never thought would have ever walked past me in YSLs, walked past me in YSLs. And y'all was doing it, hon. I don't know how you guys look so comfortable, but you guys were doing it. And, you know, I was not a hater of it. I loved it. And I thought you guys were doing it in a great, really great way, but comes to find out that you guys were letting the prisoners like compare you to the women on the TV. And then it just got all out of context and all out of order. And then you guys just was like, why turn off the TV when I can be live 24/7? And then it's the idolatry and it was just a lot going, and it's still going on, but we are still trying to remember, like I said, maybe a month or so ago, how did all my people just wake up and out of a magazine all of a sudden? I didn't see a lot of people working. I didn't see a lot of families come up off of these Section 8 houses for years. And then all of a sudden we've got this one generation that just looked like it walked out of the soap operas. And I'm like, I was here with you bitches. What happened? Turns out y'all was boosting and scamming. And I ain't know. I ain't get none of the money. I was dumb and crazy? Because I wasn't scamming. Oh, PPPLOANS. I'm just trying to look my best. Chose to stunt and not invest. But fudge them numbers, bought a jet. Cause I lied about my net. Mama, I just want to sing. Now you and your boyfriend got sunglasses on trying to look like Music the Soul Child. Huh? Huh? That eye traveling like a motherfucker. But now, Mama, I just want to sing. And now that they created this little AI app, everybody trying to sing. But it's crazy that that's a scam too, because if you can't sing without the hit of a button or the manipulation of some type of software, you can't sing because actually you playing games. You're doing the smoke and mirrors thing. We already got rid of Milli Vanilli for that same thing. And now we're starting to figure out that there are a lot of other people who've really gotten famous for appearing good. They appear to be doing the right thing. They appear to be belting out those sounds. But they've pretty much got enough money to make the smoke and mirrors happen, which kind of takes away from the people who actually really have talent. And come on, let's just be real. Everybody has a natural talent. It's just that people look, they watch, they saw who got the most money for which talent, and they went with that instead of seeing who got the most peace, who's got the most reward. The reward doesn't always look like money. The reward looks like access. The reward looks like friends, family, health, living a bit longer, great, dynamics with associates, business relations, parking karma, pulling up in a crowded parking lot and actually being on time enough to get there right when somebody is pulling off. Do you know you actually have to kind of not just have good timing and a skillful eye? Sometimes you actually have to be a good person for the universe to open up things on time for you. Because that's a thing. Because some people, if they hadn't gotten inside in a certain time or they hadn't gotten outside in the time, things could have been different for them. Right? We all know this. It only takes a moment for the reality of your life to change. Let me go back over that PPP loans thing because that was funny only because a lot of people who were doing it were running around and acting as though everybody was slow and they weren't trying to be better. No. People were actually trying to not get in trouble. And it's not that we didn't feel like we were worth it or we shouldn't have better. We just knew that in the long run, PPPLOANS, I just tried to look my best. Chose to stunt and not invest. Fudge them numbers, bought a jet, cause I lied about my net. All you had to do was pay the people, follow the guidelines, or just not get the freaking loan. Same way you didn't have to use the CPN. The same way you didn't have to copy that person's social security number, address, email, their demographics. You did not have to sign them up for unemployment. You did not have to try to get a loan forgiveness thing. You did not have to try to pay your bills through that person's credit card that was just so happened to be in proximity and not in their proximity, but it was in proximity to your 5-finger discount. See, those things did not go unseen or unchecked. It just takes a long time to get to the backlogs. Of course, you see, they noticed, and they did that on the unemployment. Oh my gosh. They did it through COVID. I don't know how far back, but they did say that they are going through the backlog. So I actually happened to be blessed to actually still be working during COVID. I actually worked the whole entire time through COVID. So I was an advocate for a lot of my patients. A lot of people were threatened during COVID with housing issues, it was really sad to see, because I was in the trenches during COVID, and I had to do patient contact. I had to go in and out of homes, and I saw people were building senior living buildings were making excuses to treat the seniors bad. They were trying everything to push them out because they were on fixed income, so they were making things up in management. And you would see, like, it was crazy. I was working in one senior home. I had like two patients in one building, two on two different floors. So the one patient wasn't there, but another patient was. I was working with him, and it was wild because I guess he kind of rubs people wrong, because whatever happened in his life, he's kind of nasty to people. Understood, but I was there to help him. Nothing more, nothing less. Um, he came across a point where one of the older ladies who volunteers in the rental office basically threatened his housing because she didn't like the way he talked to her. And understandably, no, he didn't have a right to lean on that lady like that. But housing is a thing, and because he's able to pay and he reached the guidelines and he filled out the paperwork, and I'm here because actually I was an advocate. I was contracted to work with him. So whatever they got going on in the building has nothing to do with me. I was contracted to work with him. So if anyone knows me, if I have a client and I'm dedicated to that client, I am the advocate for that client. If that's the only thing that can change me being an advocate for that client is the client and the job and the need. So at that time, I felt there was a need for me to step in because they were trying to justify disqualifying his housing. This person had checked all of the boxes he needed to check to be in housing, because he also checked the boxes that he needed to be in my program, in which my program was government run. So these things running in conjunction meant that this man had as much right. And if I was dealing with you, honestly, I'm doing my due diligence. I'm checking the boxes. If I see that you are no longer a candidate, or me being involved in your case is not good for you or me in the long run, and it's going to come to an audit issue, I will put in a formal request to no longer be involved with your case, and do my due diligence to move away from your case and go and actually write and have a meeting with my supervisor about me not being involved with you no more ever again, and I ain't coming back. And this is uniform across all ways that I work. So kudos for whoever trained me. I don't know where, but yeah, kudos for that. I'm always a stickler about that because I'm aware that I can also be put in a situation. Anybody can, and people need to understand that wholeheartedly. You can, it takes but a moment for a person to put you, for your life to change. So, with those things in mind, so be mindful of being on the script and the soap opera, and know that some people, when they come, you don't know what type of show or what type of timing they on it, and you don't know if they want to be in the soap opera, or they want to, they want to be of the world, or if they want to live, if they want to walk right, or if they want to walk upright. So with that being said, definitely be mindful of the characters that come into your life to play different parts, and know if you're being invited into the drama. I did my best to stay out of drama, but sometimes you can't, because you don't know who all the players are. So let me do my due diligence before we get into this astro tarot. So there are military personnel, both active and non-active. So there are retirees, there are people who have gotten injured to the point of discharge, and now because they don't get as much money, and they have lived the lifestyle, or experienced the lifestyle of the passport bros outside of the country, they still need to procure their fund here in the United States on the ground. So boots on the ground. So they will be bragging about benefits. They will be talking about disability. They'll be talking about veterans a lot. They'll be bragging. They'll definitely want to make sure that you know that they're a veteran, and they will use that as an excuse, or they will use that to take advantage, or they will use that as license to be domineering or controlling. Okay. So next we have some police officers. Now, there are some good and there are some bad. I know I sound like him, right? We're both Geminis. But yeah, there are some good and there are some bad. Now, there are some police officers that just go to the job every day. They don't like start anything. They don't go one way. They don't go to the left. They don't go to the right. They're not necessarily good. They're not necessarily bad. They just want to make it home. And you don't hold those people, to too much because they just want to make it home. And that's how a lot of people are. They just want to make it home. So, it's okay sometimes, but if you allow bad things to happen while you're on duty, that makes you a bad person. And that and so forth. So there are some police officers that are involved in the soap opera because hey, they live a boring life. They don't make a lot. They got picked on in school. They probably aren't that secure. They don't like their career, honestly, but it was the career that was picked for them or chosen. It was discussed for them. So, that sort of thing. So however you found yourself a police, you should be a good one if you want to be a police. But if you're on the bad side, these are the people that you need to look out for. Going down to correctional officers, there are some correctional officers who are connected to police and they're connected to doctors and nurses, and these doctors and nurses are interchangeable in institutions. This is what you also need to understand. Sometimes the common thread between the branches or the actors that are coming in and out of your life could be the doctor, the therapist, your therapy. The little chickies that walk back and forth and put the little leads and stuff on you. They're like some of the bottom of the rung because they actually go back and forth and they flirt with you, and you put on and you change yourself. You change yourself depending on who's working that day, and they see who you flirt with. They see who you're more accustomed to. Are you accustomed to Amy? Are you accustomed to Nicole? Are you accustomed to Nikki? Are you accustomed to Samoa, the more exotic one? And these girls that they have in the therapy, you're being watched. Somebody knows what your type is depending on who you always flirt with. The woman you walk up to in the market, somebody pays attention to that. There are so many different ways for a person to pay attention to your patterns, what you might be attracted to, what you're not, what your interests are, things of that nature. You do not know who's watching you. Like I said, between the branches of military, the police, and the correctional officer, the common denominator might be an inmate, a doctor, or nurse. And all of these things, they do add up together. I'm sure you've seen the relationship dynamics between a correctional officer and an inmate, even when the inmate is a family member and the correctional officer is in the same prison system as the family member. That can also be used as a conduit, a avenue for access to the outside world. A lot of times people say prison runs the street, so you have to be mindful when all these things are crossing all the time. You understand? So we have the military branch, we have the police, we have the nurses, we have doctors. We also have some teachers. Now, some teachers will not participate in such practices, but there are just some that really don't care. They got it for the job, they got it for the proximity of being around kids because hey, we have some weirdos that want to go into the school system because they want to be around children. And not only that, we have some men and women that go into the school system because they're picking parents. They're scoping out moms and they're scoping out dads, either for relationships or for whatever other situations that they might have. They might see them for help, or they might see a breeding situation where they might can make somebody their baby dad and potentially have funds or, some sort of things like that. So you just have to be mindful of why a person might want you around. The silliest reason is to have a baby so that they can have good hair. Like, you're watching so that you're farming genes. Are we really doing this? Are you farming? Like, I get it. You don't want to have a baby with a not so handsome person. And honestly, the texture of the hair has nothing to do with the spouse. It has something to do with hair care and your hygiene and how often you take care of it. So good hair is subject to care. Like, come on now, hygiene. So that part. So as I was saying, be mindful of the military, the police, the COs, the nurses and the doctors, the therapists, the therapy girls, the MAs, the medical assistants, those sort of things. And then we get down to the teachers. And as we get to the more social people, like the people that you find in the open markets, the people that you're going to run into more often, those are the people who are going to get the least of the pay and the least of the recognition. But for some reason, they seem to do most of the work, I guess, because they're always in action. They're always interacting with people. They always have to be out on these streets. They said Jesus of Nazareth had to go out to the people. He couldn't reach the people that he wanted to reach unless he like went out to the crowd. So sometimes they get a bigger reach when they're out in the crowd. And those are the people who are going to be paid the less, not unless they take specific jobs. Okay. So be mindful of that. And then if you have like special interests, those people, they're getting paid because they're going to do weird things to you. Those are the people who they're actually paying to either give you a disease, baby trap you, kidnap you, ransom, steal your mail. The ones who are stealing your mail, these people are they're working. And when they get off a job, they don't mind doing a couple of crimes before they go to bed. They sleep really well at night. They don't care. It does not it does. Long as their baby is okay, they don't care if your baby is going to be attacked or actualized or anything. They don't care because to them it's a bubble. It's a bubble until that bubble get burst. So be mindful of the people that I mean some the heck. Okay. The neighbors. Sometimes it's the neighbors. Like I definitely believe my neighbors are definitely into it because like I said, he's tried to take a picture of me. He came out one day screaming at the top of his lungs, calling me out of my name. And then right after that, he puts a ring camera. So being as though he doesn't appear to be the brightest crayon in the thing, I'm going to assume that ring camera has nothing to do with safety issues. It really doesn't. It has something to do with keeping track of his neighbor because that's the only way he can take a picture of me without letting his woman know that he actually needs to look at me. And I don't think he realizes that I have eyes too. I have eyes too. And it's crazy because I seen like someone come to my door and it was under the guise of putting flyers indoors. And when the guy looked up, he didn't realize that I had more than one set of cameras. So when I've seen the face, I looked down at the face and I seen the face. I know where that face comes from. I know what hood that face comes from. I know what side of a town that face comes from. So I am aware of some of the players. Some of the players look like some of your ex-friends. Some people are really going to go through your friends list and they're going to get people who they know are insecure. They're going to go to people who they know have let people talk about, you around them. So they know that that person isn't necessarily maybe not your enemy, but that person isn't all the way your friend. So they can easily turn them. Or if a person knows that you don't have a particular liking for a person in your family, they're going to recruit that person first by telling them things that you may or may not have said, embellish it a bit. And there you go. They've got a new recruit. So when you know you've got weak family members, or you've got family members who aren't reliable. They can't hold water and they talk about everybody. Just know that they are going to, and this person is going to get the least because they volunteer information. So while everybody else is probably getting tens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, hundreds, even in thousands for information, it's going to be the weak link that's going to give away your information for free because they want to be cool. I mean, they're doing it for clout. They want to be able to use your name. They want to be able to say, well, I'm related to her, not realizing not only are they putting a target on your back, they're putting a target on their back for future references because if shit should go left, they know what part of the game this person played. This reminds me of that Heath Ledger part when in the movie Batman when they were in the bank and everybody he was like, yeah, I'm supposed to kill the guy afterwards, right? And it's crazy because this is basically almost like what's happening in Baltimore. Like, there's no honor among thieves. I hope you know this. So remember when Heath was like, and the guy, and he didn't pay attention. They were all in the clown mask, and he was like, "Yeah, once you give me the money, I'm supposed to kill the guy." And he didn't realize that wasn't nobody supposed to make it out alive but him. And it's something sort of like that. It's something sort of like that, where it's a really sick Ponzi scheme. And a lot of you also, which is crazy, don't know who the producer is. You don't know who's writing the script. At some point, you were told that you were writing the script. At some point, you were told that you were the author, but they were playing and they were gaslighting you. I think you don't even know that you're being watched too. I'm watching you, you're watching me. It's back and forth, vice versa. But their eyes were watching God. And then Big Brother came in. So you see, you don't know who's who in the game until the game stops being played, especially when you never asked for the game to be played with you. You never asked for a part in this game. Some people are not important, so they have to do things to make themselves important. And unfortunately, they're not doing a great job of it. They're actually making themselves targets. They're making themselves look like setup queens and setup kings. They look like malicious monsters. They look like empty vessels. They look like possessed people. Because what are you trying to inquire in life? What? Exactly. It's not talent. Not unless you think it's talented to lie, steal, cheat, and get over and manipulate. I don't know. That would be nice, but these are not green. These are gray. But yeah, so just keep in mind. So it could range from the highest honor of people, and I didn't put this in with the military personnel. You know that when military personnel, they resign or they come out of office, they take regular jobs. So we could be dealing with wardens, we could be dealing with CEOs of some types. We could be dealing with people that sit on a board and they make decisions for different entities, different conglomerates. And a lot of times, when they see little percentages happen here and there, they do like little management tweaks where they like give out directives in different places. And it actually, it seems like a very small, minute movements, but to the bigger, higher ups, if these movements are successful, they get big bank. And we're none the wiser. We're just happy with an extra $5.50 on our checks. None the wiser. And this is why it's kind of very interesting how we're trying to hold everybody accountable now, because if we don't, we'll never know where the string started, because there's just too many smoke and mirrors and tricks. There's too many things. We'll never know where the beginning started if we keep allowing these things to twist around each other and spool and twist and twist. So that's the part of my messages. That's, hope it wasn't a lot, but it was. But you need to pay attention. It could be as common as the person that's like, the addict or the fiend that is leaning over in front of you. You don't know that that person might be a Harvard graduate, or they might be a college person that fell on hard times, not able to pay their loans, and they ended up addicted. So now that they have to use their brain to get a hit every morning. And that hit came at the expense of betraying you. It happens. I have a woman that, that lives around me, and she spoke to somebody who I think really like tried to sell me into sex trafficking. I really do. Because of the way she moved and the way he moved. Like, I really think that man was going to sell me because he didn't want to get a job. And he never went to work, but he spent a lot of money and he drank. Boy, he drank. And They talked to each other for a few seconds one time in the interaction. I watched it and I didn't say anything because I like to watch. I like to see the whole entire thing so I can play it back. And not only do I think maybe he was into it, but I also think that he wasn't getting enough money to procure his lifestyle, because I think one day, because he kept trying to like lowball me, and I was like, what is wrong with this man? Like, he don't know prior to even looking his way. And it took him a whole year to convince me to look twice because I was working. Like, I said, well, let me take you to a restaurant that I like. And I ended up taking him to this restaurant that I used to hang out in Columbia, the Walrus. And this guy used to always have McDonald's stuff in his car. I'll bet he drove a really nice 2023 car. He stayed at the casino all the time, and he used to try to hang out in the bars and clubs with young people all the time because he's older. No problem. He's not bad looking, so no problem. So it didn't dawn on me that this man, not only was he a con artist in his own life, he was just a con artist, period. Because then, like I said, I get to play things back. As I played things back, he was definitely trying to set me up. And I think that the female that I still see, because I told her I'll never speak to her again, because for some reason she kept asking me for $15, and every time I seen it, she was like, "I'll pay you back," but then the payback got longer and longer, and then one time she didn't pay me back at all, and then I saw, and I was like, "Hey," and she spoke to me, and I said, "You know what? I don't want to talk to you again. Don't ask me for nothing either." And she was like, "Why? I'm sorry you feel like that. I don't care how you sorry you feel. I feel, one, I don't make money to give to you. Two, I don't like that. Don't use me. Three, if you could pay me back, then why you can't wait to get the money?" But regardless of what, not only that, I'm not mean, I'm observant. So as I seen the way the guy was moving and the way he acted, he really acted up when I paid for that food at the Walrus, because the amount of that I paid for the food at the Walrus was the amount that he couldn't say he paid for no dates or anything, because like I said, I know when you deal with older men, especially with older men who've been through things, you don't really want them paying for things for you until you get to know them, because you don't know what they into. If you live enough life, you know it's a lot of life you got to live. Okay. So being as though, I worked in mental health hospitals for a long time, damn near 20 years. So you kind of see a person start glitching. And I see him actively glitch a couple times. That's why I was okay with him not being around me. So then when he started making it like, he took me to Lexington Market one day, and he like, the way he parked, and he said, "I'm gonna run, I'm gonna find this man." And I heard him mention the man a couple of times, and the way he parked, I locked the doors and I rolled up the windows. He had the drop top down, but I locked the windows, right? And I'm looking around and I'm like, it's something don't feel right about this. He keep talking about this man, and he keep pulling up at weird spots, but he don't have the address for him. It's certain things that just kept, and I kept looking, and it's something weird about when a person just keep being drunk like that. A person don't drown themselves in liquor like that. My own book, honey, my own book. A person don't drown themselves in liquor like that unless they trying to block something out or get through something. So I just started paying real good attention to it. And then what's crazy is, when you be around a drunk that talk a lot, is you got to be very, very quiet and ask questions and shut up so that they can answer the questions. And boy, did I get the answer. Turns out he was a career thief since the beginning of his life, period. Mom and dad was some real work, real work. He told me plenty of stories about the siblings, and this one particular story he told me about his sister made me feel as though he had like a romantic thing with his sister. it was like incestuous almost. I don't know if he actually like indulged, but the emotion was there. I could see the type of sway. You know what I mean? Like it's wild, right? So I could see. Like I recommend my book Inside Gossip right now. I'll tell you when the other one comes out, but I also recommend you read The Alchemist. I didn't write that book, but it's a beautiful book and it's not that big and it's not intimidating. But either way, so yeah, I believe like he already had like low vibrational stuff going on. You know, the odds were stacked against him from the beginning, but he didn't. It's not that he didn't like it. I think this person grew to love it. I mean, some people do get a high from stealing. Some people get a high from doing bad things. Doesn't mean it's good, you know. So I think over the time, this guy just built this thing that he just loved toxic stuff. So you know, me not liking it, event, you know, because what you know, when I met up with this person, one, I was trying to kind of like distract myself from the fact that my dad passed away. I honestly would have never went back to work. In 2019 had I had my father not passed away. I had retired once, right? So this is my second time retiring. I had retired once because I went on to do my own business and I was doing pretty good at it. But then my ex-husband like got real abusive. Like he turned up the notch. Like I'm walking through, I'm seeing females popping up on the little nail heads on the messenger thing, like talking to him like they married to him, but I'm the one that just like shat a baby out. Like, what? So that was the decline of that. So, and that was crazy because like I ain't gonna lie, I when he left me one time, he physically left me, I put everything out and I decided to start dating. And when he found out what the guy looked like that I had started dating when he left and like called the police on me for no reason because I didn't even know what the heck. So yeah. So when he left, he came back. Do you know that he shaved off his beard trying to look like this man? I thought that was wow. I actually could not look at him until he grew his beard back because I thought it was disgusting. And that's when I realized I don't think I really love this man. So that's when I started trying to break down and get away from this person. So coming back, coming back, coming back. So yeah, so I have a long history of working in mental health. So when you see it, even when it happens, because even the ex-husband did some stuff. He got caught cheating. Do you know this man got in the bathtub and made it look like he was trying to kill himself? And then I had to actually hide the fact that he got checked into a mental ward for over 30 days. I hid that because I didn't want to look crazy, but he was actually out there making me look crazy. He had a nerve to come back from the crazy place with one of the little girls, and she was young. It's my fault he had to cheat. I guess it is. I guess it is. Anyway, I think he should have. But honestly, I think he should have just stayed away because how you gonna come back with a crazy girl number from the place as a correctional officer? So, like I said, pay attention to correctional officers. You do better in your life. Yeah. So, anyway, and this is why I'm having a wonderful morning this morning and talking to you. See, I can talk about these things because I've experienced these things. So I know what cray cray look like, right? So fast forward, got rid of that. He's trash, right? Got rid of that divorce, right? So we get this boyfriend and he's older, right? He's older. So at the time, I'm not really tripping on it. He's just a temporary at this point. So I'm dating him. It took a while for him to actually like break through my defenses. One, because I was working so hard. I was still in the process of trying to get my book published and everything. And I had just bought my house, you know. I was just, you know, dating. And it just seemed like every time I like would even have a prospect to date, the idiot ex would come back and deal with some stuff. But I think eventually the idiot ex, after he got so desperate, and then the idiot new guy that I was messing with, they both had the same monster, me. One, not only could they not control me, they could not buy me, they could not break me, they couldn't thank God they couldn't give me an STD. They decided that they were going to triangulate me and try to sex traffic me because I won't have sex with that one and I won't no longer be with that one and I won't let him live off me. So why not try to make her so-called mate leave her, not even knowing that I was already over the guy. I was already over him. I was trying to figure out how to get rid of him. But so y'all little plan hatch kind of helped in a way. No, it helped in a big way. So, yay! I'm so proud of y'all. The reason why y'all trash buckets is what made things so glowy today. It's like wonderful. So, what they did was they got, I'm just going to call the predator, and she got a banging body. So, it wasn't hard to make it look like, it wasn't like hard to make it look like what it looked like. Like, it made the Nibu leave, excuse me, for the hoe, which is fine because I kind of wanted that to happen. So it kind of worked out in a way for me. But what I did not know was all three of them, the ex-husband, and the girl who called herself my friend, but ain't never been my friend because she always running around trying to get people to talk about me. Right. So she always, for years, since we met at this first state facility, been talking about me. She always been trying to, like, she tried to fight people over our friendship, which was weird because it wasn't ever a friendship. She just always wanted to be in proximity to me because she felt like I wasn't going to get the money. I wasn't raised to have sex for money. So I'm not like that. And I used to piss her off because she'd be like, yo, here, trick, here, this, see, why you ain't get the money? And I'm like, huh? Yeah, the problem is me. I don't sell pussy. So what that is, that's the problem. Because when I actually seen my ex-husband's phone and he had this really large girl, like, she looked like a turkey. I thought it was a turkey at first, so that's what made me open the thing. I was like, damn, that's a big ass turkey. And when I looked, it was an actual human being that was kind of tied up like a turkey. So I was like, oh shit. I dodged the bullet. Like, y'all really be some sickos. So anyway, so this girl, so they came over, how they met, they had came over my house and I heard them because I was in the bathroom. And I think people don't realize when they drunk that they don't have a volume. And me, I don't drink a lot. And I don't drink to the point where my sense is going to get messed up either because I know how people can be. So I heard her talking about selling somebody coochie, and I thought it was her daughter she was talking about because her daughter had been beefing about something, and I thought she was just talking out the side of her neck. Come to find out, now that I realized, not only did they try to poison me in my backyard, they try to steal my songs because they had some bus driver named Howard actually work on the bus that my son used to take. And he actually was like, I record you, I record you. And I remember exactly where he lived. I went to his recording studio and he recorded my song. And what's crazy is as I was leaving, he was like, yeah, you sure is nice. This gonna be the last something, something, something. Basically saying that if you ever go in the studio with some people else, they're going to essay you and beat you and you're going to be assaulted, which basically was supposed to be, I think it was going to be the initiation into whatever. Once they got a chance to abuse me, that would be the thing that locked me into the industry. I think that's what was supposed to be. Or either way, they were supposed to get rid of me or drive me to the point where I no longer came out or unalived myself so that they could try to get her to lip sing my songs, or somebody who can't sing to sing my songs and steal all my work that I've ever done, including my books, including my recipe for my champagne, and including my songs, all of which this person has no talent to do at all. This is a professional D-sucker. So this is why I'm having so many problems either on this platform, Instagram, Facebook, that sort of thing is because these people collectively couldn't survive on their own by living. They actively seek someone to live vicariously through because they knew that they didn't have the work ethic or the professionalism to just go forward in life and leave people alone. It's okay to not like people and leave them alone. Unfortunately, it's a lot of people who don't know how to do that. And we find out every day on TikTok. We find out every day on YouTube. We find out every day on Instagram. Not so much on Facebook because Facebook is now become the dinosaur of the meta community. So, like I'm explaining, these things are not just isolated to myself. I met a young lady in the lift the other day who was going through the same exact thing with her family and her sisters and everything like that. So I don't think it is a one isolated, a one and done thing. I think this is being done across many places. I can't say Illinois, Peoria, Illinois, Ohio, Chicago, Virginia, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, all throughout Baltimore and DC. It's happening and it's happening more often. And I know why, because it's an overwhelming amount of scam and fraud. And if they don't find the beginning of the start, from the start to finish, a lot of people will not be able to survive. A lot of people will not have good credit because these people who spent all this time doing from COVID to now filling out applications and using other people's demographics to get things, they have destroyed the economic system. They don't know whose bill is what. They don't know who did what, when, where, who. It's like this. It's chaotic. But all they know is people have to pay. We need human beings to work. We need people to show up and do this. And people are so depressed they can't even put themselves into the society because every time they run their name, they credit, they this, they that, they get hit with a bill that they either did make or they didn't make, or they're getting hit with emails and they're getting hit with this, that, and the third. But it's so hard to get back to ground zero when majority, a lot of people haven't been out here dipping and dabbing and all this stuff. A lot of people haven't. And then unfortunately, some people have and don't even know that they took part in it. And that's the bad part. There are some people that don't even know. I saw on this article where it was one, this girl filled out unemployment for 125 people. You know how many people is messed up because this one lady filled out for 125 people on unemployment. This is why they trying to mess with the food stamps. This is why they mess with the Section 8. This is why, because a few people sat and took it too far. They say it'd be a little bit that mess it up for the rest. Now, people need housing and people need food stamps. But why did y'all take it that far? You did not need no $1 million in food stamps. You did not need this stuff. Why did y'all do that? This is how I felt when y'all go to the stores and y'all buy all the toilet paper and all the bread. If you needed that much toilet paper and that much bread, you need to learn how to make it yourself. It's wow how people ran around ransacking every system they could, not even thinking about the economic collapse and the collateral damage. I mean, people haven't even had kids, and you know somebody's already got a loan in that future kid's name, like that. I lie to you not. It said that they had people, it had birth dates that was up to 15 years in the future already. Don't pick a name out of a hat. You might be picking a kid that already got a debt, ain't even been conceived yet. They got kids between 1 and 5. 15,000 kids between the ages of 1 to 5 have unemployment. Where did they work, Miss Ma'am, sir? This is the problem. Y'all hit that, y'all did that Klarna glitch. Took all the money. Now what? We might not have Klarna. It's so many systems that are being taken care of. These kids on the Roblox. Oh my gosh, the little guy. They lay somebody in DC. You see how close to home that is? They lay somebody for $238 million in DC. Crypto coin currency, Bitcoin currency. Laced the guy. 4 kids playing Roblox. 2 Eastern Asian kids, Indonesian. They look Indonesian Hindi a little bit. 1 Asian kid and 1 other kid. I forgot what this other. It was 4 kids. They hit a lick for $238 million from one person in DC. Children. It's getting real. But we have kids and they're supposed to be our future. But if they get into the kids too early, so early, if they've already compromised the kids and already turned them into before they even get off the porch. Some of these kids don't come outside. They inside living a life of a scammer. Yeah, they are. And many more are. And we're going to see more stories like that more often. I don't believe that TikTok is being compromised for no reason. A lot of these scammers not only use TikTok to get the money, they use TikTok to get the money. Oh my gosh. As I said it, I realized that TikTok was used so many different ways to get the money. And after they effed up the money, they came back to TikTok to beg for the money. Send me a sandwich. I personally don't get mad when other people wear any other styles. I get mad when a person tries to take away from the culture that it was appropriated from. I just get mad when it's represented not well. That's all. Other than that, I don't care less what the hell you doing with yourself. Get an afro. I used to actually have a lady. I don't know if she was Cajun or not. I mean Asian. I don't know if she was Caucasian or not, but she had a really funky bush. She had a black bush. She had an afro. And I used to love to go to the office and see her because she was so neat. She had on the nice turtlenecks, and she wore nice spectacles, and she had nice jewelry, and she used to wear, you know what? She used to wear a little thingy like this over her little turtleneck and stuff. But she had style. She had a lot of riz. And that was when I was in middle school. That's when I used to go to a middle school, and it was a predominantly African American, Caribbean, and Jewish neighborhood. It's at the top of Park Heights. So yeah, I was in that neighborhood. So when I went to that school and that lady had that, it was like the best. She was like the best hybrid I've ever seen in my life. She really was. I don't know if she was white. I don't know if she was Jewish, but she had a black afro and she had style and she had presence. And when she talked to you, you heard her, but she never yelled. She spoke, she said it, and she shut up. She never had to walk away. She would speak and then it would be like she left the room, but she never left. I like that lady. Even years now, when I look back, I like that lady. I really do. And it was good that when my first child, my oldest got old enough, I was able to send him to that school for a couple of years. So he got to basically enjoy some of the culture that I got to enjoy coming up, because I felt like that neighborhood optimized my opportunities in life being in that neighborhood. Not just being in that neighborhood, taking part of the culture in that neighborhood. I was happy when I worked at I don't even know if they still have this place. They don't. They don't. Harvey's. If anybody knows about Harvey's, Harvey's had the best coconut shrimp, the most biggest, juiciest coconut shrimp. And he was a Jewish guy, and he was in Green Spring Station. I don't know if you know about it. It's like at the end of Joppa and Green Spring, all the way at the end. I think that's one of the last Mano Schwartz, whatever. As a teenager, um, straight out of I was like in high school, and I wanted a job really, really bad because taxes and things of that nature. And that wasn't my first job, but it was my one of my first posh jobs. Like, no, it wasn't my first posh job either. No, it was my first posh job because I've had other jobs that were really, really good. It's just that when I got to Harvey's, it hit different. It hit different because Harvey's was it was a cultural opening to me. Like it made me look at Judaism and it made me look at Judaism a lot different. Um, it also put me on point about scam artists and how they look. Like, there's no real uniform for a scam artist. If somebody wants to steal, they're gonna steal. They don't care what they have to put on. Okay, so that's that. But yeah, Harvey's was very, very upscale. They had like fur stores. There was John Hopkins had like a campus out there, and it's really, really nice, a big to do. But what was great about it is Jesus Christ did pay for our sins. He actually literally paid the ransom just for people to come out and just start a whole new bill. But yeah, so at Harvey's was definitely in an upscale neighborhood. They had a Mano Schwartz. They had like waxers, this and that. Like that was like the first like little shopping center I seen that made me feel comfortable. It's not that I came from there and it's not that I'd ever been there, but when I first started working there, it was like, okay, this is the fit. So I guess it was like, what, out there at out at the station, out Joppa station. You guys are making shit up. Now, anyway, so working at Harvey's was a great experience for me because it exposed me to my style. Like I started to see not only was I closer to like something that made my spirit feel better, but I was like, it was like the answer. I don't know if it was the neighborhood. I don't know if it was like the culture out there. I don't know if it was like the land, the space, because I definitely used to like to take long rides through that neighborhood just to see the tree lines, just to go up and down, just to see the horse farms, just to just be back there. So, yeah, I think when I worked at Green Spring Station, I was in proximity to something, but we were very close to the Pennsylvania line, the York line, the state line of York, Pennsylvania. So, don't know about that vibration. Either way, just keep in mind there are people in different stations at every elevation that are ready to set you up. You do not know when they want to pull you in, but if you show anything interesting, anything that can maybe put you make you stick out in the crowd or anything, I think this is when those people descend on you because either they're there to make you give up sticking out of the crowd or they're there to make you part of the crowd. Their job is to make you not be a sovereign citizen or a leader of your own. I don't know what I just heard, but what I just heard, I'm probably not going to say out loud. But how you doing and good morning. So we've got Astro Matrix Tarot. Astro Matrix Tarot. So is there somebody from the Midwest? I know I just asked like Peoria, Illinois, Midwest, Ohio, Chicago, Michigan, Iowa. So there's a celebration either being had or there's a meeting of the cups. Trying to figure out, trying to gather these resources, trying to figure out who's got what. Are you guys trading Pokemon cards? Are you guys doing the circle jerk thing again? Either way, you got to watch out because that's how people pass entities. You're sitting there circle jerking with somebody who's a whole entire madman, and you're trying to figure out where you're glitching by mid morning. Well, you just absorbed a bunch of crap from somebody else's body. Ew, y'all nasty. Happy Monday. This is Eight of Wands. This is a bunch of opportunities, a bunch of different scenarios in the air. So things could pretty much go anyway. It's in the air. I always like to say it's above me now. Once it's out of my hand, it's above me now. It's crazy because I saw your buff boyfriend on Falls Road hugging up with another buff boyfriend. So I don't even know how he ended up laying with you. He likes men more. He does not like girls. But girls are a good cover. I'm sorry, I had to say it. I didn't want to see the tears form in your eyes. I didn't want to witness the blood pressure rise. I didn't, because you know I tell the truth. I didn't, and I didn't, and I didn't, but he robbed you for your youth. Eight of Wands, and we've got the moon here. And that's the 18, which makes it 16, which makes that 26. 8 of Wands and 18, 26, that's a 10 again. So we've already read Psalms 127, which was a 10. 10, 10, 10. We're running 10s. This is the year of the 10, 2026. This is the year of the 10. 5 of Wands. So we're going for half off sale. So somebody's going half off. Either they're reducing their prices, they're reducing what their action, they're reducing what they're asking for. Something is being reduced, but there's a battle nonetheless, an uphill battle. Leo, what's going on? We've got Sagittarius, Pisces, and Leo here. These people are proud, they are loud, but they might just be wrong. Is this what the fight is about? Everybody wants to be right, but they're wrong. But if you're doing something wrong, how could anybody be right? That is the question. How do you justify doing something wrong and trying to be right about it? That makes no sense. You're a hypocrite unto yourself. More cards. Page of Pentacles. Go. Are you sacrificing animals? 2 of Wands. Oh, my bad ear. Anyway, Page of Pentacles, King of Wands, 2 of Wands, Earth, air, energy, females, Aries, Aries, Aries. The God of War, sending attacks. You guys do attack children. I know you attack women, but you guys attack children, and that's not fair. You attack children because the children are our future. So you don't want us to have a future. You want to attack the forefront. You want to attack the kids. You are disgusting. You are disgusting because you actually want to attack the childlike manner that is in everybody, even yourself. So you are willing to attack yourself. That's okay. Page of Pentacle, fresh perspective. We've got the goat, we've got the goat, we've got a goat. Something is being sacrificed. King of Wands here. Burning stick, burning stick. Are you sacrificing your kids for a burning stick? What's going on? His legs are so wide open, the stick is burning. He's looking off. Who is he looking at? Oh, if we saw on this board, this is who he was looking at. Oh my gosh. Did you see the picture and I was interacting with each other? He looking at her, legs wide open. She holding up the money. Even the goat mad. She's sacrificing everybody for the money. Maybe she want a BBL. Maybe she want a new body. Maybe she's the OnlyFans girl. But she did what she had to do with you. Now she's going to devalue you, sir. You can go on back the way you going at. You are now looked at as nothing. She done used you. She got what she wanted. Are you mad because this was supposed to get her? She young. She might be naive, but she got your money. Being as though everybody on Jesus internet and in this chat believes that they know who and what I am, I'll let you guys decide. I don't care. Now, go back to these cards. Get the bread, get the head, and leave. So now he's stuck there with the lemon pepper steppers. He might gotta go to the clinic. She ain't paying for it. She got on her boots. She got, I don't know if that's your homeboy, that's the goat. Or if that's her homegirl that helped. But she got your money, baby. And you looking crazy as I don't know what. You might as well get off that throne. Might as well. Might as well. Oh, she might ain't leave you yet because she might ain't got all the money, or she might ain't set you up if she ain't already set you up now. Now, this person not only will get you to set somebody else, they'll set you up. So you take what resonates or you don't. But you know why that money missing and you don't want to tell nobody because you told everybody that she was the business. She was Chef Kiss. You don't want to look dumb. So for all your pride, she get the slide. Hello. You are Aries, and good morning with you. Good morning. We've got the Aries energy sitting right here on the corner. He's looking out into the sky. He's got the world in his hand, and you see the ego. You see the ego? You know, the ego is sometimes it's patriotism. Sometimes it just thinks, your highest self, But if that eagle come around, you need to look around your feet, and you need to also realize that there might be a small mouse, which is pestilence. There might be an insect, there might be a rodent around your feet, because sometimes the eagle comes to feed. The eagle is precise. The eagle sees things that you do not see. So make sure that either the eagle is your spirit guide, or you're paying mind to the eagle, or you are in the eagle heart of mind. Because if you got somebody that has an eagle eye in your circle and you're not aware of it, they can take advantage of you. Yep. So Aries, if you're not in precise, if you're not overseeing your whole thing, if you're not in your highest, there is somebody who is in their highest for you, and they're either going to use that for their greatest good or your greatest good. You be the one to discern, because if you got an eagle in your sights, that eagle has precise vision. We talking I can see. So if the eagle isn't you or doesn't represent you in some kind of energetic way, there is somebody who has an eye on you and they're paying attention to detail. This might make or break you, but there is somebody with eagle vision in your proximity. And I don't know if they're there to watch to make things go good, or they're there to watch to make things go bad. But you need to be on your P's and your Q's. Definitely. Their eyes are always watching. There's always somebody watching. It all depends on why they're watching. The person who watched you last week could have thought nothing of you, but depending on the conversations that they had this week, it might change. They might could get a dollar or two from looking at you. They might could get a dollar or two from spreading your business or saying this or that about you. They may. This is where we live in the area where we live in the age of information, where information is very powerful. Information can make or break you. This is where we are now. This is why you can't afford to let things slide. This is why if you do see a book, you need to read a book, because the book is going to give you way more than whatever that TV pilot show is ever going to give you. Even though those TV pilot shows are good, it's never going to paint the picture that your mind would have painted. All you needed were the words. A lot of this trouble came from me writing the very book in which you all tried to deny, only because a lot of you have become characters willingly and unwillingly in this book. And for that, I hold your hand and I digress. There's a good and a bad to every sign. And being as though there's not one person applied to one sign, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of degrees. Just like wheat has variations in colors, that is as we are. Spread about the earth, we are wheat in different shades. But all of us are human nonetheless. Some of us act a lot less in humanity, but we are humans nonetheless. Okay. So hopefully that helps you support you in your journey of information, and hopefully you research some of this stuff. You don't just take my word for it. I invite you to research this stuff. I'm not the only one supposed to be to be able to have this conversation. If I don't have the conversation with someone, there will be no one to talk to. And God did not make us to be alone. He also didn't force us into slavery relationships. He did not force us into unequal relationships. And unequally yoked can mean lots of things to a lot of people. I used to believe unequally yoked meant I had to have a person who believed in exactly the same thing that I believed in. But now I believe in equally yoked means to have the same value of life, in life, for life. For me, to have the same value in life, of life, for life with someone else. It does not have to be in a partnership. It does not have to be. I don't even want to do a relationship anymore, because relationships, I don't want to relate to anyone's trauma, because people like to live in trauma. They feel most comfortable in trauma, so I don't want to do that anymore. I seek partnerships, and they don't always have to be romantic. Mostly platonic, really, because there's only room for one romantic relationship. If it's the right romantic relationship, you'll only choose one. So I'm waiting for that one to happen, because I didn't have the patience before, but I understand so much more now. I understand so much more now that I need to wait for that one relationship that speaks to me in so many volumes, because I've been spoken to in gibberish so much that I almost try to understand it and decipher it, but it's gibberish. It shouldn't be deciphered. So that's the way in which I work. I don't work in problem, I work in solution. So yeah, a lot of it, a lot of my growth has come from solution based living. Even when I talk to my doctor, I go in with a plan of solution, like this is what we're doing. So even when I had a stroke because I was constantly being gaslit and cheated on by someone who I took the time to take counseling with, and break bread with and invest in, and I kept getting cheated on. So when I had that stroke, and then I realized that not only did that stroke result from being in that relationship, but as a result of that stroke, this person was going to increasingly get worse and abuse me even more. I'd already been abused by my family. So for my mom to come and take me from a semi-healthy relationship and redirect me into this abusive man's hands, and then double down and try to actively keep me in this man's hands through all sorts of associations, lies, and all sorts of rhetoric. And then for me to try to get into another relationship and have all of these people try to put me in a worse situation because I couldn't be controlled, and then decide that I shouldn't even have my life because they can't benefit from it. That's traumatizing. But through the grace of God, I'm here talking to you about it so that this doesn't happen to other people without knowledge, without people being able to look up and see that there are people who are invested in turning you inside out. There are people who will take all sorts of life insurance policies out on you and won't talk to you, won't call you, won't ask you if you're okay. They check every so often, but they're only checking to see how close it is to cashing the check. And it's some people who can't wait to cash the check because they've put things in place that should have never been. So they do these things and they get other people, or they try to get other people to do the dirty work because they know that they put their hands in things that they should not have put their hands in. I remember when I walked in this lady's house and she was like, "Oh, so and so gonna be the first millionaire of the family." And I was like, "Okay, congratulations." But then now thinking back on it, how in the fuck was that ever going to be? Not unless you put your hands in some stuff you had no business putting your hands in. So I digressed. I left everybody alone. And then a situation happened where they tried to put me in a Wendy Williams situation. And I know all my life, these people have called me for my money. These people have called me to clean. These people have called me to cook. These people have called me to take care of people. These people, I always take care of my children, so nobody babysitting them. So how in the heck could these people simultaneously say that I'm crazy while not helping me do nothing, asking me to help them? I even had an uncle ask me to drive him somewhere, and then when I was dropping him off, he gonna say, "Lexi, was you asleep?" I really want to say, "Shut the fuck up," because why would you get in my car and then ask me was I asleep? Would you have asked me that dumb question if I was asleep and we crashed? Cause like, what are you doing here? So in the backlog of things, there have always been people around trying to make me seem some kind of way. For what benefit they got, I don't know. But you won't get it either way. So yeah, I had to pivot a little bit just now with the information because that just came out of nowhere. Yeah. So you got to be mindful of those things. Yeah. So like I was saying about the millionaire thing, you got to pay attention because some people, and that's the law of that's the actual Murphy's law, that's the karmatic law, that's the law. They actually have to tell you that they fucking you over so that they can bypass karmatic law. But the thing is, it didn't get past me. You told me exactly what you was going to do to me, especially when you told me I was never going to buy a house. Why would somebody's mother, who should be wanting better for them, speak so ill to their child? Not once, but on plenty of occasions, and put them in situations to where their word was never going to be heard. I digress. Brava. You played the long game for a long time. Brava. Brava. But game over. Game over. I understand that all those years in the Caribbean when you were the little black ugly child, so you say, and nobody took care of you, that don't mean have children and abuse them so that you can have a turn. Some people should not have kids. Thank God I love my own. Now that's judgment. Drops the mic. Ooh. We're going to start in Pisces. Hey, Three of Pentacles. There's a group. Like I said, there's a group. Scooby-Doo. So, they would have never found out if it wasn't for those kids. And that kid is me. Yes, yes, yes. I am the kid that tells the truth. Never liked me because I actually paid attention. I remember that when that thing happened to me when I was 12 years old, I remember it. I did something to call attention to myself. I took apart a DVD or a VHS player, and I ended up cutting this part of my hand. I didn't understand what was happening to me. I didn't know why my cousin did that. I did not know. All I know is that my mother ain't believe me, and I had to do something to get out that house. So I ended up in surgery, and she looked at me so weird when she saw that they gave me all this anesthesia, and my eyes was open, and I was watching them remove things in and out for right here. I was watching them. And she turned around, she looked, she said, "My daughter is watching y'all." And I looked at her, and she looked at me. She gave me the weirdest look. And I think that was when she realized that she would have to do something to me or keep having things happen to me because of what was going on. And it bring me around to that conversation that we had at Double T Diner where he was telling me all of the things that had happened. And now it makes so much sense why she did not want me to turn my cousin in. Haywood Avenue would have been on the news. For those who know, they know. Haywood Avenue would have been on the news had I said what I needed to say all those years again at 3616 Haywood Avenue. If I would have said all the things that I needed to say on 3616 Haywood Avenue, we would have never been here right now. My nephews would have still been my nephews. I might still like my sister. I probably would not care for my brother. What's going on, baby? You just woke up? What's the matter? Hey. What's wrong with your eyes? And I know I'm telling the truth because my baby is upset. And that's what happens when they start sending that bad energy when I tell the truth. Pisces, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra. You okay, Shane? Pisces, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Yep. I ain't even got to pull the cards for this one. I pulled your card already. I love you, Stink. Now I'm going to go take care of my baby. Thank you. Yeah, it could be you. You know, that's why you said it. Or you know somebody who knows something. He does. If you see him, tell him that was wrong to pick being out in them streets instead of be with your own child. But that's okay. He's going to be fine. Okay. Yep. Whenever he get around the child support, tell him I'll be taking it in cash. I do not take no food stamps. I do not take no TANF. I do not plan on giving the government no applications to be filled out. I want mine straight like I asked for it. The same way he gets it. The same way my baby get it. He don't go through all that. He gets it straight from me. I appreciate all love and all kindness and all positivity. Okay? He's so calm now. I understand, honey, and I see where you're going with it, but this is the thing. I didn't invite these things into my home. These was put here by the demonic spirits that decided that they wanted to get together and send things my way. My brother went to Puerto Rico or somewhere and came back with some stuff attached to him. He gave me money that had something on it, okay? He brought this to me. I didn't bring none of this stuff to me. I found a bottle of Florida water and a blue candle under my kitchen sink. So I had to start doing research, honey. And I didn't want to touch these cards. But eventually the cards tapped on me and said, if you don't pick them up, they're going to use them to destroy you. I never, before this time, before this year, touched them cards. I had to figure it out. So when your side decide to leave my praying side alone, all I've ever done all my life was be good to people. All I've ever done all my life, and try not to lie and not steal and do the best I can. But when I got hit with a person, and it's demonic in itself to bring a child in this world, look at the child and not take care of it. That's demonic in itself. But to actually decide to go in with dissemblers and try to destroy the person who has to take care of that child, you tell me what you call that. Why? Why would you go to Shady Grove Hospital, a fertility treatment center, and encourage me to have this kid and then try to weaponize this kid against me? And then when you couldn't do it, you just disappeared. I'm not that special. I ain't the only one going through this. I'm the one that's talking right now. And I know y'all like my combinations because that other little tarot reader with a real small head, tell her the wig that she ordering is too big. Got that girl looking like Kermit with a wig on. Jesus. Jesus. God is always here in my life. I don't need nobody on the other side of the screen to determine that for me, being as though I don't know who you are and what you came for and what you like. But what I do know is this. I don't play them games. I don't play them games. Yeah. You okay now? What you want? What's that? That's a button. That's the button that popped off when I had pulled on them pants too. So I got to sew it back on there. It's a button. You ready? Right. You need to stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. It does. Deuteronomy, Genesis 44. You need to look in there is a part in Psalms, but it also a part in Acts. You need to read Acts. all of this is included, but it's not, because, like I said, and like we know, the book of Enoch is not included in the Bible, yet it is included. And it is inspired by the life of the Lord. That means that all of it was not written by the Lord, it was inspired, and it was written by apostles and prophets. Okay. So all that needed to be learned is not included in the book. Not only is that, yeah, I didn't ask for you to proof me, so you're neither null, you're not nothing to me at all. And that's not even a word, so I don't care. Anyway, so when I got into the Bible journey, so I'm always in the Bible every morning, and I'm still looking for answers. And a lot of times when I'm reading the scripture, the answers do pull up right in the scripture. And sometimes I just gotta like Google a few things and find out. And this is how I found about Asmodeus and things of that nature. And the book of Jubilee, the Nephilim, things of that nature. Also, the ex-boyfriend with the drop top. He had me read a book, and the book also was talking about how they wanted to destroy. I think he was a Mason or something, because he had a piece of he had a book. He bought me a book to read, and he was like, I just want you to read from it. And I started getting suspicious as I was reading from it, because he just kept wanting to hear me read from, like, does he have me reading something that I possibly should not be reading out loud? That's when I started looking at him like that. um he had me read something in a book that said that it was basically saying that if they destroy the innocence of the child every 4 years, they can mess up a child they can mess up your generation, they can mess up your bloodline. If they destroy, if they do something, rip the innocence from a child before they get to the 4th year or the 5th year of life, that can keep your bloodline bound to the contracts. Now, you could look this up, you could research it. I don't remember what book, because he was very shady in the way that he was. It was a lot of different hurry up, and it was a bunch of chaotic movement around when he was around, especially with all that drinking. You just did not know what he was capable of. So I had to be very strategic, knowing that I'm a boy mom and my boys aren't always home. You have to be careful, because sick men are sick all the time, not just at that time. They are sick. So I had to be very careful with even letting him know that I knew that it was something wrong with this man. So when he showed me that, I no longer wanted him around my child. I even told the bus driver that was riding, the female bus driver that was riding my son at the time. So it was really weird when they all of a sudden changed his bus driver to that man bus driver, that semi-Italian white mixed guy that basically told me that thing at the studio. So this I even told the bus driver, I was like, don't let nobody get my son off the bus, because when you say stuff like that, mean you would possibly try to destroy my bloodline through my children, which means that you are willing to do something to my children. Some people are okay with doing something to y'all kids. They have all the grandkids and kids in their family in the world, but they'll mess you up. The fact that you're trying to distract me, brother, means that there's a demon or an entity in you. The fact that you don't want to hear the truth and you don't want to hear the law come out of my mouth means that there's something attached to you. May it be erased, may it be rebuked, but don't bring it over here, brother. I hope you return with the spirit that you need to come with. A lot of y'all be cosplaying spiritualists. Y'all be cosplaying religion, and I don't like it. Y'all put it on for the convenience of the group. Y'all put it on for the convenience of the numbers. Y'all put it in for the convenience of the scam and the fraud. But with y'all don't have real good community, because your community would not be leading you down this line of work. Your community would not be leading you to Sheol. Your community would not be doing that. So I'm just trying to say to you, no, you calm down, because this is my purpose, and I will not allow you to walk in and out on my platform and try to dismantle my channel with this negativity. Oh, I'm ignoring them, but I'm telling them what it is. This is the purpose. The purpose is in the journey. We do love and enlighten over here, and we do not spread no misinformation. And we do not defame my character, and I won't defame yours. But what we're not going to do is try to manipulate my space so that the naysayers can come on and try to do their scams through my channel. We're not doing that. I have children to rear. I have a brand to protect. I have a loves this type of thing. And right now, somebody is trying to get into my phone. I have a community that loves this type of thing. I have a community that wants somebody to fight for themselves. Because I ain't had nobody fighting for me. I had everybody trying to fight to put me down. So I hope this ages well. And I hope the women in your family are safe and they don't have to deal with predators of this volition. I hope. I hope and I pray that you understand what karma is before it's too late. But I always tell you, there is a warning before destruction. And before I go, don't forget, don't come for me, because somebody spinning you.